Hello, Collective. It's Anne Marie. I hope all of you are doing well. Thought we'd pull some cards and get some messages of clarity for those who would like it. Thank you to my high vibrating ancestors, spirit guides, divine into being, source of light energy. What? Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. What are you worrying about? What are you worrying about? Understand soulmate lessons. Soulmates come to teach us. Embrace the lessons they bring, even if they are hard to swallow. Anne Marie, something's wrong with you. Doesn't have to be love. It's interesting because these two puzzle pieces, the way they're set up here, don't fit together. Her puzzle piece above it has a heart, and above his puzzle piece has an eye. She's holding a red book. I don't know why this is important, and he's holding a blue book. And again, soulmate doesn't have to be romantic. We have friends, coworkers, whatever, family members that are actually soulmate, but they're lessons, right? What are some of the lessons that you have learned with the people that you've released in your life? Not the on the surface, well, not to trust someone who blah 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 again. It's deeper than that. What have you learned? I'm hearing for some of you, you may have, and this could be dating. You've dated someone, and all of a sudden, I'm just getting a sharp pain right here. Ow. That you may have dated someone that maybe you initially trauma bonded. It doesn't have to be nothing serious, but you realized during the relationship that your puzzle pieces weren't meshing, right? You had one vision for the connection, they had another vision, but you kept trying to still fit these puzzle pieces together, right? It may have taken you 12 to 16 months to get out of this situation, is what I heard, or it may have taken you longer. You may have ended up marrying this motherfucker, and you're still with him. Take what resonates. And oftentimes, sometimes when people have gone through rough times in friendships or relationships, I'm feeling a strong relationship here. So take what resonates, leave the rest. These are collective messages. But it's like you've gotten into it, and it's like you're not a quitter, and you may realize, you know what, things ain't perfect, but I'm not quitting. I've been in this for this long. I'm not getting divorced, or I'm not leaving this relationship, or I'm unable to leave this connection, right? And it's like you may have been trying to force these puzzle pieces together, even though you knew you two weren't aligned. They may have been more you may have been more heart-centered. They were more of like a logical type of person, and you just didn't see eye to eye on things, but you kept trying to force it to make it work, right? So this is how you know this resonates for you, if this has happened to you in the past. So what I'm being shown is that the deeper healing work is to actually look at, okay, excuse me, where was I at in my life? What was I experiencing? Or what was I afraid of? It could be so many things. Or what was I afraid of where I didn't want to take that leap and remove myself from the situation or disconnect from this person? What fears did I have that kept me stuck or kept me in this situation? There's a deeper lesson here than just healing the wound, whatever the wounds were. It's something deeper. It's something ancestral is what I heard, where people in your family may have stayed in connections longer than they should have, or they may have went from one connection to another, to another, to another. So there's a pattern here about connections and relationships, and you may have inadvertently, is that the word? Inadvertently, advertently? I don't know. Unknowingly learned this pattern from your family or whoever reared you, right? And so you're like, you may have been like some of us in the 90s. We were all like, ride or die, Bonnie and Clyde, bitch. Now we're like, what's that meme? It was like, I've rode too many times. I've died too many times. I ain't riding or dying for shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're toxic, because that's what it was. That's what that thing was based around. Like, I'm sticking with my man or I'm sticking with my woman no matter what. And they toxic as fuck, right? And so we don't do that anymore. But this is there may be something in your lineage or the way you were brought up or your perception of things that you just stick with someone. Like you may have been in a family, like it doesn't matter what happens, you never get divorced, right? Here it is, your man's cheating on you left and right. He has babies by other women, or the woman is toxic and being abusive to the man, physically, verbally, all that. But you're just too embarrassed to leave, whatever it is. But there was something that was taught to you of why you stay in connections possibly that aren't meant for you. So that's where the deeper healing is. It's something that's ancestral is what I'm hurting. What is it about this? It's something ancestral that has happened with your family. And it's really... And also, not only that, but there's also for you some deeper healing work of what makes you feel so unlovable or so unworthy that you would stay in a situation that doesn't honor you and respect you as the divine being you are. Matter of fact, hold on. I hate to do this. This is going to take up time. Hold on. So I wanted to get I have a couple of these small decks here. I have what are your triggers, shadow work triggers and inner child healing. It's a small little deck, but let's see what we get here. This may be, another sign for somebody here about maybe some inner child healing work that needs to be done. And it goes, like I said, it goes deep. I'm seeing roots of a tree. You may have felt, oh, there's two. Okay, this one wasn't flipped all the way. So you may have felt powerless as a child, that you didn't have any power or control of your body. So you may have had some some type of traumatic thing that happened around that. And so Spirit is saying that it's important to remind yourself or to be in a place that you actually have control of your life now. You have control of the circumstances around you. You may have been in situations that made you feel powerless as a child. So now you believe as an adult that you're powerless in these situations. Well, we've been together that long, I really can't leave. When now realizing that you actually have the power and control in your life. You are the driver, right? And also, there may be something here in your childhood that you needed approval from others. Maybe you had very critical parents or people who were caring for you or never around. And so you over please or try to people please because you need the approval of others. A lot of people walk around with these unhealed wounds here. And so you learned, now you're learning, or you need to learn how to validate yourself and be your own biggest fan. Thank you. By giving yourself more positive thoughts and love. So, and that's what for this one. So there could be some things here about needing approval from parents. And so you stay in relationships thinking that you'll get approval from your partner, right? If I just cook every night, or if I just prepare meals for them or keep the house clean, whatever it is. I mean, that's very, in a box type thing. But if I just do A, B, and C, they'll love me more, or they'll show up for me more, or they'll see the way, I have, right? Or they'll see things from my perspective. But this person, we say this all the time, we teach people how to treat us by what we allow, and what we allow will continue. I allowed everything in my life back in the day. Well, I mean, up to it's my awakening about 2017. And it gets stronger and stronger when I'm not allowing, right? But it's like not blaming other people, but what we allow will continue, right? And so it's looking at in your childhood, what were some of the messages that you were given about relationships or connections or being right or die or sticking with someone, right? And also what happened where you feel you need people's approval, where you come second best to everybody, that you don't matter. What messages told you? There's I'm seeing a pattern of things that happened in your childhood and even in young adulthood that reiterated this message that you're unworthy or you're unlovable or you're not worth the fight, that you're not worth, taking your power back. Well, what's going to happen if I finally disconnect from this motherfucker or from the situation or from whatever it is, right? You'll find your power and your strength. It's not going to be easy. So do we need to know anything else? I was going to pull from the Ancestor deck. The bottom of the deck, I will close this out. Number 10. Look at that. It is the Goddess Circle. Unbelievable. Wheel of Change. The Wheel of Change is here. You have the power and the control to change your life at any given moment and to say enough's enough. If when I'm vibing with someone, if the pieces aren't fitting, it's time to take a chance on myself. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not going to be rainbows and butterflies in the beginning. But the more you choose yourself, the stronger you become. And you will feel that light reignite or to get brighter within you. The more you choose yourself. Choose yourself, chosen one. I hope you're healthy and happy, full of joy. May you love and be